Sean, there were questions about health after the win over the DePaul game. Can you walk us through, like Kiki, Dez, Jerome, I think are the guys that would be question marks?
Des Claude is really continuing to improve in a big way. He went through shoot-around and was fine, and he was with us yesterday and also today, so we expect Des to play. And it's good to see him feeling good as well. Great to have him back. We certainly missed him. Jerome turned his ankle in the game, and he's really getting better every day. We'll know more here as we go through practice today, but we expect him to play. Kiki Tandy, we're waiting on the results of a couple X-rays to determine where he's at in terms of, I think it's a midfoot sprain. We don't have enough information on him, so I'm not sure if he will play. So that's 3. Cam Kraft and Zach Fremantle are both out. So what are we down to? I think 6 guys? Yeah, so hard to practice, but we're doing the best that we can. And at this time of year, I think rest and, the mental preparation is every bit as much important as just going out there and physically practicing. And our guys are in a good place. So we're not the only team dealing with it. I realize that, but I mentioned it after the game, and I really mean it. Maybe it's because of the intensity of our overall schedule. It began a long time ago in November where we were playing tough games, but between the illness on game day and just the injuries we've had, we've had probably about 20 injuries. I haven't really seen it to that extent. So hopefully down the home stretch we get all of that out of the way and we can be healthy.
You mentioned the other day that you saw that your team had been in that top 16 when they came out with the NCAA tournament kind of preview show. When you get to this point of the year and look, it's late February, do you start to feel March coming, the excitement building, that these games start to really ramp up towards what you guys are playing for?
For sure. Players, coaches, everybody, you're wired for the end. March Madness, your conference tournament, and we're just so fortunate that, the Big East tournament has the pageantry of New York City and Madison Square Garden attached to it. So I think there's kind of an extra level of excitement when it comes to our conference tournament. But the danger, too, is we're just not there yet. And, you feel like you're in this middle for a long period of time. Part of why you feel it is this is a 20-game regular season schedule. I mean, it's easy to forget just a few short years ago. You were playing 18, but a lot of conferences at one point were playing 16 games. So when you go to 20 and you're playing a true round robin like we do in the Big East, and each team you play 10 road games, 10 home games, here you get to that final bend, which we're all at. We've been through a lot of different things, the highs, the lows, sometimes the injuries that we're dealing with. So I think it's just incredibly important that we keep our focus on what is it that we can control today, next game, the preparation for Villanova. And, we rely so much on having a great crowd. That crowd helped us against DePaul. Our crowd has helped us in every game this year. But the pageantry of the Cintas Center, what it feels like right there at that opening tip, the home team feeds off of it. And I think late in the year, it's always an advantage, but I think late in the year it can be an even bigger advantage when you're going on the road.
I think we're all so used to seeing Villanova right up there with the top 2 or 3 teams, even sometimes, most times, number 1 team at the Big East. The record isn't that this year, but every time I look up at a Villanova game, they're right in it. At the under 4 timeout, it seems like they're always hanging around a team that's dangerous. What's the challenge of playing them tomorrow night?
Yeah, well, Justin Moore is playing now. He's played in 7 games. In fairness to Justin Moore, I tore my Achilles tendon. I think he'll be really good long term. But, when you first get out there and start playing again, running again, it's a little bit of, not a little bit, it's a different feeling. And you could see he's getting more and more comfortable with each passing game, each passing week. But with Justin Moore and, you go Daniels and Dixon, Those are three really key players to last year's Final Four team that Villanova had. So clearly we respect Villanova. I think you put Cam Whitmore on the team this year, a freshman who I believe is, if not the best freshman in our conference, certainly going to be a high NBA pick this spring. They're a group that can beat any team in the country, and we're preparing for them, knowing that it's going to be a tall order, a tough task. They have a unique style of play. They're veteran in their approach, and like you mentioned, you watch every single game, including their last game at Providence. The game's in doubt. Who's going to win, Villanova or the opponent? And we have to make sure that we're at our very best.
Coach, I know you touched on this after the game, but how can you guys continue to build off the defensive effort you've seen from your group? I think you've held 3 straight opponents to under 70 points. I know a couple losses sprinkled in there, but what have you seen from them?
We are getting better on defense, and it's really a pleasure to be able to say that. I feel like we maybe headed that direction a couple points this year, but for whatever reason, maybe we went backwards. I do believe in the last couple of weeks that we are an improved defensive team. We have to keep it up, but I thought that gave us an opportunity to win at Marquette. I thought Providence and St. John's throughout the game, maybe not the entire game, we got key stops and played a lot of effort. And against DePaul, I thought for most of the game we were really solid. So it's about the practice. It's about, preparation. And, it's really about guys going out there and giving just incredible effort on that side of the ball. We play really well together on offense, and usually that coincides with the group that's together on defense as well. It's taken a little bit longer for us to get maybe more cohesive on defense, but that's a big hope. I think we talk about it a lot. We have to keep doing it, and I'd say that's one of the most encouraging parts to our season right now is our recent defense, and we're going to be challenged in a huge way tomorrow night against Villanova because of their firepower driving the ball and their three-point shooting.
How has Jerome Hunter played a hand in that? I think that was probably his knock, was his defense before he got here to X. So how have you seen him evolve, I think, over the last season?
Well, there's a lot of things that Jerome has done well for our team this year, and to his credit, I think there's a lot of different parts to his game that have improved. Defense is certainly one of them. I would rank Jerome as one of our team's best defenders. Early this season and throughout his career, he was plagued by fouls. He would leave his feet, he would reach in, he'd be out of position, and although his effort, I think, was always good, he almost beat himself with, the lack of discipline or an error in judgment. He's cleaned that up. He's smarter on defense as well. He fouls less, and he's guarded a variety of good players for us over the last couple of months, and we're going to count on him in a big way tomorrow to do that.
Had a little fun with Jerome today because he's been coached now by both of the Miller brothers. And I can't tell you what he said. I have to take it to my grave. But can you tell me the difference you think between your brother and yourself, whether it be coaching or just day in and day out interacting with your players?
I'm sure there's a lot of similarities. I'm bigger, I'm tougher, I'm older. I'd say
You
those
did say
three
you're
things.
the same.
Yeah.